Okay, guys, welcome again, and thank you for attending the Dementia Up Close and Personal. It's a pet project or advocacy project of American Geriatric. Let me introduce to you American Geriatric.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dementia Up Close and Personal Workshop Series. Dementia 101 for Home Care Aides and Caregivers. These workshops are brought to you by the American Geriatric Care Management Incorporated, a full-service specialized geriatric care management that provides home care, dementia care, case management, and family dynamics support when dementia is too close to home. Serving Southern California since 2011.
Just please go on Facebook and maybe put us a hashtag on dementia. The reason why we're doing this is to raise awareness. Right now, because of the new pandemic, things have changed. The only way you can be seen and you can be heard is through social media. That's the reason why for us to continue doing this, we would like to request that you guys follow us on social media. This is not something that we do that we make money out of it. It's more because of that advocacy. And of course, we have some partners, but it is not something for profit, but it's more to help families and educate people on the right language and approach to dementia. So if you could just go visit American Geriatric and put the hashtag dementia. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And now, let me introduce to you our speaker for this webinar.
To you guys.
A staunch advocate of awareness through education, Ellen is currently a geriatric care manager and CEO to her first business, American Geriatric Care Management Incorporated, a full-service geriatric care management, specializing in caring for seniors with Alzheimer's and dementia care and supporting their families. What started as a marketing platform to reach her captive market, turned to advocacy by conducting dementia up-close and personal seminars and workshops, to spread awareness to caregivers and family members about this dreadful illness. Her workshop has been fully attended with hundreds amazed by her competency in this endeavor. She is a certified Alzheimer's disease and care trainer, recognized by the National Council of Certified Dementia Practitioners, NCCDP. Ellen also earned the John Maxwell International Coach Certification in 2019, specializing in dementia family dynamics technique and handling the challenges of dementia. She is the president of Filipino American Chambers of Commerce Foundation, a 501c3 organization, and is also a founding board member of the Coalition of Filipino American Chamber of Commerce, COFAC, a national organization of minority chambers of commerce. Ellen is also the President Emeritus for Filipino American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Los Angeles, FACCGLA, from 2018 to 2019. Among all of the numerous awards and accomplishments she has done, Ellen was awarded the coveted prestigious title of one of the most influential Filipinas of the Filipino Women's Network in Paris last year. A serial entrepreneur, a visionary leader and passionate advocate. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I give you, Ellen Samson.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Okay. So, I can't go back to that other one. I just showed that picture because, I'm here, not just not just the instructor or the trainer, but I'm also a caregiver. Those pictures, I still had dark hair. Now it all turned white, through the years. That was, I did caregiving 12 years ago, since 2008. 2008, and through the years, acquired trainings on the floor and trainings on dementia. Okay. Dementia up close and personal. Why did we say this? What is dementia? What I noticed in social media, when you put something about dementia, just a very few people pay attention to it. A lot of people try to avoid discussing it. It's so gloomy. It's something you don't discuss. It's something like a plague people don't talk about it, which is very wrong. That's the reason why we went the extra effort to make sure we reach the target audience, the families. Because with dementia, if you don't know how to handle it, it will destroy family relationships, it destroys people's lives. And we have a senior who's going to cross the bar very, very lonely. So how do we do that? This is the awareness. This the topic here is how you can communicate with them and take care of them. So what is dementia? You know, you hear it, you see it in the internet. So let me become bookish here. I would say the symptoms that can be caused by a number of disorders that affect the brain. Impaired intellectual functioning that interferes with normal activities and relationships. The lost ability to solve problems and maintain emotional control. Personality changes and behavioral problems such as agitation, delusions, and hallucination. That is dementia. But if you look at the picture here, on a layman's terms, we'll do later, what is dementia? It's brain shrinkage, it's brain failure. It is not normal. So there are many kinds of dementia. Sometimes, what is dementia? You know, how does it differ from Alzheimer's? I'm not a doctor telling you about the medical terms, but this let us discuss it with you in layman's terms. Dementia is the umbrella, umbrella term for loss of memory. But there are a lot of kinds of dementia. There's what you call Alzheimer's, which is the most common of all dementia. And then we have the Lewy body. I would say the Lewy body is more of like a combination, a combination of Alzheimer's, the dementia, and the Parkinson's, because the gait is the one that's affected. We have the vascular dementia, when you have a stroke and a certain portion of your brain dies because there's no oxygen or there's a stroke. So you know what, it can't perform anymore. There are a lot more, even the mad cow disease, but let's concentrate on the most common, which is Alzheimer's. See, there's what you call like mixed dementia. So you could have the Lewy body and you could have also the vascular. But sometimes it's not easy to just label that, oh, she has dementia because she lost her keys and she gets confused. You just say, oh, she has dementia, which is bad, and we don't label because it might not be dementia. I had a client before in San Jose, and the doctor said she has dementia. Everybody was saying she has dementia. But then it was so sudden. She was good maybe a week ago. And suddenly, because she's confused, now she has dementia. That's what, some doctors are they just dismiss you like that. I'm not against doctors, but there's some, especially when you're a senior. Oh, yeah, you had your life. I have seen that a lot of times. But we cannot say it's dementia. Because sometimes when a senior, for caregivers who are here, when you have your, call them clients, don't call them patients, we're non-medical. So when you have senior clients who was okay now, then suddenly the next day she's so confused, that's not dementia. There are other outlying conditions that could have triggered that. She might be dehydrated. And maybe she was brewing an infection. When you have an infection, when seniors have infection, they become, I'm sorry for the term, they become cuckoo. They get confused, they get agitated, antsy, because they're brewing an infection. However, that's not, when you give them antibiotics, they become cuckooer. The more, because, and then when they get better, they go to that delirium stage wherein they're really so confused. I have a patient a client who said, you know what, we're in a cruise. She thought she was hallucinating we're in a cruise. So usually during the delirium stage, they're at their most confusion. Now, after that, they get better. So infection, dehydration, depression. Depression, sometimes they stop talking, they don't want to see anyone, and then they become confused. Because it's not dementia, but because they're severely depressed. Or there's some medication side effects. The side effect of like antibiotics. They get so confused that they have hallucinations or other medical conditions. So cannot just label dementia. There are some drugs, that are prescribed for dementia. They have donepezil, the Aricept, the galantamine. A lot of medications are there, but it's the decision of the family if they really want to go through that. But those, if they're around 88, why would you use donepezil? The side effect of donepezil, it doesn't make the senior sleep. The seniors turn dark. It is because some doctor, when they tell you, oh, here's donepezil, here's Aricept, take it once a day. But the side effect of that is it doesn't make you sleep. When it's given at night, the senior will close her eyes, but you know what? Her brain is awake. So the next day, she's going to get mad at you because you are forcing her to do other things. You think it's normal during the day, but she didn't sleep and you're not aware of it. So we always say that, if the client is prescribed with donepezil, give it in the morning because it doesn't make the senior sleep. Okay, there's sleep disturbances that go with that, and then this we can give this one tips for medication therapy. It's too technical, but you just put it here. But if you want, we could send you a copy of this. Okay, we have a small video that describes about Alzheimer's. Okay, let me play this for you.
What is Alzheimer's disease? Alzheimer's is a slow, fatal disease of the brain affecting 1 in 10 people over the age of 65. No one is immune. The disease comes on gradually as 2 abnormal protein fragments called plaques and tangles accumulate in the brain and kill brain cells. They start here in the hippocampus, the part of the brain where memories are first formed. Over many years' time, the plaques and tangles slowly destroy the hippocampus, and it becomes harder and harder to form new memories. Simple recollections from a few hours or days ago that the rest of us might take for granted are just not there. After that, more plaques and tangles spread into different regions of the brain, killing cells and compromising function wherever they go. This spreading around is what causes the different stages of Alzheimer's. From the hippocampus, the disease spreads here to the region of the brain where language is processed. When that happens, it gets tougher and tougher to find the right word. Next, the disease creeps toward the front of the brain, where logical thought takes place. Very gradually, a person begins to lose the ability to solve problems, grasp concepts, and make plans. Next, the plaques and tangles invade the part of the brain where emotions are regulated. When this happens, the patient gradually loses control over moods and feelings. After that, the disease moves to where the brain makes sense of things it sees, hears, and smells. In this stage, Alzheimer's wreaks havoc on a person's senses and can spark hallucinations. Eventually, the plaques and tangles erase a person's oldest and most precious memories, which are stored here in the back of the brain. Near the end, the disease compromises a person's balance and coordination, and in the very last stage, it destroys the part of the brain that regulates breathing and the heart. The progression from mild forgetting to death is slow and steady, and takes place over an average of 8 to 10 years. It is relentless and, for now, incurable. Helping your family, friends, and neighbors to better understand Alzheimer's will reduce stigma improve care, and even help the fight for a cure. Thanks for helping to do your part. Learn more at www.aboutalz.org.
We watched video. It gives you a little bit of an idea of how Alzheimer's, how relentless, that it breaks havoc on a person's brain. And some people would say, what is dementia? A lot of technical things that they say. To put it simply, dementia is brain failure. If you see that brain that you saw a while ago, when this is the normal brain, and this is the Alzheimer's brain, it shrinks. It's not a part of normal aging, it's a disease. It's more than just forgetfulness, which is not a part of normal aging. And it makes independent life impossible. The death of brain cells that process data or memory. What happens is that when the brain shrinks, because brain cells die. When the brain cells die, so goes are the memories. And the first one to go is the short-term memory. We see seniors, like we have a senior would say, I had a client before, we went to the doctor's office and we were in the waiting room and she said, Ellen, why are we here? Oh, we have to see your quarterly checkup. And then after maybe 3 minutes, she would ask me, Ellen, why are we here? She did that for the whole 30 minutes. And I know those people seeing us, watching us, were just like so amused. Like, how could you have the patience to answer same questions 10 times maybe in a minute, in maybe 30 minutes or 20 minutes? It is because the brain cells died, and here in the hippocampus, the brain, the part of the brain that was short-term memory is gone. So when you have a new memory, it goes in, goes out. It doesn't stay because the brain cells there are already gone. That is the reason why some seniors would always love to tell stories of before, what they had when they were kids, or when they met way before. All those memories are still there because the long-term memory is the last to go. It's not because they want to be how do you call this, they're attached to it. It's because the brain can only process that, not the short-term memory. They will remember what they ate during the first date, but they will forget what they ate for breakfast. How if it's really Alzheimer's? This one is for, we're caregivers here, but we're also family caregivers. We have somebody in our family. This is just a tip. You know what? We just don't diagnose. Just say or label it. So the primary physician, a neurologist, or a neuropsychologist. And it's, if they want to see, there's what you call a lot of tests, but the neurologist will always order an MRI and CT scan. That's why you can see the brain shrinkage. The brain got smaller. And then a neuropsychologist will ask questions. They don't use machines, but the neuropsychologist can ask questions and see and give an opinion, where is the dementia already. I mentioned already, the Namenda and Izep are the most popular medications for dementia or Alzheimer's. And I put here, prepare. We'll talk about that later. There are a lot of tests. We have the self-administered geroneural-cognitive, the SAGE. This one, because a lot of seniors are, sometimes you can't bring them, or some seniors are so afraid to go to the doctor. You could actually download this, and if we have somebody here, just ask us, we could give you the SAGE, and it can be administered at the comfort of your room. I always say, when you pass this SAGE, the first thing you have to do, if you are positive, if you think you failed the exam, go to your primary physician for a referral to your neurologist. But if it's negative, go to Costco and have it laminated. You're still good. We also have the psychom assessment test. You can get this in the internet. And this is what you call the recode and the reverse programs. Wherein, do you know that 20 years from now, you would know if you will have dementia or you will have Alzheimer's? That's the functional medicine. That's now an in thing, and it's a trend right now that through your blood and analysis of your blood composition and your DNA, you would know if you will have it. That's another topic which we will like to share to you in one of our events. Okay, basic rule in dementia care. A lot of families, a lot are guilty of this. Reality orientation has no business in dementia care. Look at every situation from their perspective. Let's talk about, say for example, we have a senior who, let's say mom. You brought mom outside. It's a good, you could see the sky, very sunny, and then you know what? So it's kind of getting warm and hot. So you brought her inside, and then she went straight to the window and she said, "Wow, it's raining cats and dogs. My gosh, there's even thunder." And you looked at her and you said, "Mom, how could you say that? We just came from outside. We just came from outside. It's look, there's the sun. It's so sunny." And then mom will look at you and she will like say, "You think I'm making this up? You think I'm crazy? You think you think what I'm seeing is not true. You think I'm hallucinating. You think I'm stupid." Because you give her reality orientation. Reality orientation is giving them what you're seeing. Your perspective is different from how they're seeing it. The malfunctioning brain, the dying brain is so incapacitated that it is processing what the eyes is seeing the different way. So do not give them your reality. If she says, "Oh yeah, it's raining cats and dogs," you know what? Sometimes it gives you a headache because that's not true. So there are a lot of ways. If she says that, just say yes. And then after that, redirect her. "Mom, watch TV." But do not contradict. Live in their reality, not yours. I'll explain to you later why. Okay, I was told that, can you please again, to help us continue doing events like this, can you please just go to our page and just do the hashtag caregiving. Okay. This will help us gain the visibility for our advocacy. Okay, next. This one are families, and you have your mom, but caregivers should also know this. The POA for healthcare, POA for finances, the POLST, the DNR. For caregivers, for families, you need to have this in place. If you're a senior, make sure that you have a power of attorney for healthcare, a family member or a trusted friend or a relative who could make the decisions for you when you can't do it anymore. And for the finance, usually yesterday I had a client and she has dementia and no POA for healthcare. Who's going to make a decision? They can't pay for the caregivers. They can't pay for anything because she did not prepare anything. So right now we have to look for a lawyer. We have to justify that she can't make a decision and the kids are going to turn over. And it's a lot of work. So right now, if you have a mother who's, going there, maybe you could suggest, and maybe at this time already, please prepare it, because you don't want the government or other people making that decisions for you. You want it to be done by somebody you trust and who really deeply loves you. For caregivers, just make sure that the one giving you instructions what to do is the POA for healthcare. When you get a new client, where you assign to a client, make sure, who is the power of attorney for healthcare? And who's going to pay for my services? You have to know. These are the things that your agency might be able to discuss with the family, but at the same time, you as the caregiver should know, particularly on the power of attorney for healthcare. There's also the POLST. This is a form that should be in with the senior, so that if in case there is an ambulance or a 911, they just look on that. I forgot the whole, you know, meaning of that, but it's the pink form that the ambulance or paramedics look at. DNR, you have to know if the client is on DNR, because DNR, like, you do not call 911 anymore. They might be in hospice, or the family has made a decision, no, don't call 911, just give us a call, or you know what, do not do resuscitation because the client or the senior has DNR. Ask these things when you get assigned to a client. And do not intubate. Sometimes, you know, with DNR, you don't call 911, but if they are DNR, you still call. But in the hospital, they said that if they need to be intubated or they need to be on, they have to put a lot of stuff on them just to breathe, a ventilator and intubation. It says no. So these are some of the instructions that will be left to the senior when they prepare her wishes. We'll talk about home care AB 1217 later. What's AB 1217? In January of 2016, the state of California required that all caregivers have to have, you know, you have to be registered in the home care bureau. You cannot get your HCA number if you are trained, if you don't go the background check. That's why us at American Geriatric, we make sure that all caregivers are in compliance with AB 1217. You cannot be given a home aid number that will allow you to work among seniors if you do not have background check. Your background check submitted to the bureau. Okay, going back to dementia, they will forget what you did. It's like, I think this is from Maya Angelou. They will not remember what you did, but they will not forget how you made them feel. Can you imagine feeling stupid every day? Say, let's go back to the mother and daughter. Now, every day, the daughter would say, Mom, it's not raining cats and dogs. You know, yeah, Mom, that's not red. If the mom says, oh, the wall is red, and you would say, Mom, it's not red, it's white. Or Mom, that's not a cat, that's not a tiger, it's a cat. You keep on correcting her because you're giving her reality orientation. Could you imagine every day how would your mom feel if you do that? Every day you tell her, no, no, no. Put yourself in her shoes. Put yourself on being told, that's not right. This is it. That's white. That's not red. Every day of your life, you would really fall into depression. See, and one more thing here, we have what you call the 90-60 mind. The caregivers here would feel like, they know that we have some people who would say, I'm going to the office. How could she be in the office? How could you be in the office? Hold on, sorry. Okay, how could she be in the office? She's already retired, but she would say, I'll dress up for the office. Or tomorrow I'm going to New York, I have a conference. How could you have a conference? You're already retired. And if there's an untrained caregiver, they will always give her reality orientation. What does a 90-60 mind? Seniors with Alzheimer's or dementia are living in a 90-year-old body with a 60-year-old memory, which means that the memory from 61 to 90 got erased because that part of the brain has already, the brain cells there are already dead. No more processing. So because the brain cells holding those memories from 61 to 89 got erased, the patient's memory is at the age of 60. So she will only remember 60 down. The long-term memory is now their reality. So I would mention that later. I want to show you pictures. Look at this picture. When she looks at the mirror, this is what she sees. Look at that, how beautiful. She looked at the mirror. This is how she looked before and is in her memory. There is a disconnect already because the brain, as the CPU of our body is so messed up that it cannot, even the way perception is going to be affected. The nurse and the scientist, look at that. Accomplished people, particularly they live, their reality now is what is 60 below. Here also, why is this there? Why do some seniors say, no, I don't need care, I'm okay? But you know what? They keep on going back and forth in the hospital. Or when you have a client would say that, I don't need your help, go away, I don't need you here. I can do it. One of the reasons why they are resisting care, because we unknowingly make them feel so like invalids, because we try to do everything for them. We are showing the care in their faces. So, say for example, this is care, and I'm going to put it to you. What do? You push back. I am not going to do that. Why are you making me feel like as if I can't do it? There's already a disconnect in the brain. So the perspective, your loving care, or whatever your good intentions are, but if you do not know the technique, how to tell them that, hey, this is care, I'm here to help you, it will never go anywhere. For families, like you have, again, let's go to mom. Here's mom who has a disconnect in the brain. You will go in there because she pays double, she cannot do these things. You do everything for her because you love her so much. You want things to be easy for her. So you balance her checkbook, you do the grocery shop, clean her house, and then sometimes you put a caregiver when you're not there for respite care. You do everything for her because you love her. The question is, how is your mom processing that? How is your mom uh, processing it in a way that you think is the right way? No. Your mom thinks you have taken over her life and you have invaded her independence and privacy. See, look at this. They would say, you know what? We don't need your help. We can manage. Mom, but you know what? You have to have a caregiver. You have to do this. You have to do that. But she say, what do they do? So stop. I'll show you I can do it. And then how they're walking, they fall. I don't need anybody else. It's because we are pushing care into their faces, and that's interpreted as taking over their lives. But their perception, I am the mother here. Why are you telling me what to do? Or I am the boss here. This is my house. Why are you here? And why are you telling me to take a shower? I don't want to take a shower. I don't want to eat. What are you doing here? Oh, you're a spy of my daughter. That's why I never say that, hey, if for the caregivers here, don't ever do this. Oh, you don't want to eat? I'll call your daughter. Don't do that. They would follow, but you know what? They would hate you for it. They don't use that as, like to shock them or to make them do things for you, because you will be branded as a spy I always say this. For the caregivers here, you always say, oh, you can do anything you want. You are the boss here. Make them feel they are in control. Because if they feel they are in control, you know what? There is no pushback. There's no pushback on accepting the care. You could all say this, oh, you can do anything you like as long as it's not going to kill you. You don't you don't die under my care. Do it as a joke, but they can do, it's true. We cannot force them. That's elder abuse. If you're going to force them, you know what? Hold them to the shower. They cannot. They still have their rights. We'll talk about that later. If they don't like it, we can't. We can't force them. You can't hold them or can make them do what they don't want to do. So don't make them feel like kids. Don't instruct them what to do. You're stepping on their privacy and independence. The Montessori approach to care. This is actually one whole course, especially those working in assisted living and retirement facilities. But I want to put a splice here, like The Montessori care approach is just like this. What you do for me, you take away from me. People with Alzheimer's and dementia, they can still do things. You know what? Don't do everything for them. Because what they don't use, if you don't make them do it, eventually, you know what? They will stop doing it. They might be dependent on you or they're too lazy, and they will lose the strength to do things. Like, if you are doing a caregiving for somebody with dementia, if before before the COVID, you know what we do? We bring them to the groceries. We ask them, what do you want? Or when we prepare food, we bring them to the kitchen. What do you want? Do you want to do you want to how do you want your eggs cooked? Or maybe, you know, how do if you're cleaning the kitchen, let them take the lead so that they would feel important, and you could still give them a little bit of exercise, and they would, whatever they can do, let them do it. Don't try to baby them because you want to make it fast, you do it. No, especially those living at home, uh, let them participate in household work or consult them. Let their mind think, let their hands move, walk, put them let them join whatever activities are there, and become a buddy to them. You do it together. Hopefully, you know, the caregivers here, I know there are a lot of caregivers who are guilty. We'll just do it for you. It makes it easier. Just sit down. That's not the right way to take care of somebody with dementia. Care tips. Don't do this. Like, oh, sweetie, don't baby talk. Don't treat them like children, but don't boss them around. Sometimes caregivers are very untrained ones. They go to the bathroom. They follow. Put yourself in their shoes. Do you want to be followed to the bathroom? That's the reason why we have a lot of agitation. Why would you follow? Ask them. Can you please? Do you want to join you? Sometimes they no, but we know that they will be a fall risk. But you can be on standby. Standby assist. Just tell them, explain to them that why you have to be there. And if they say go, just be around, but don't show your face. Give them that privacy. Don't hover around them like, hey, he's going here. I know that you're afraid that they're going to fall, but there's a technique. Just don't hover, because that is kind of they get agitated, or they get mad. Because put yourself in their shoes. Do you want somebody hovering around you? One more thing for with dementia and Alzheimer's. Don't give them too many choices. Here you are, you ask them, caregivers in the morning, hey, how are you, Mary? What do you want to wear today? And you open the whole cabinet. That's so daunting. That's so overwhelming. So what you could do is two choices. Do not tell them, oh, you have to wear this. No. Do you want to wear this or this? Give them the feeling that they have a choice. And don't show other choices because it's going to rattle them. There's another one is doing it with and not to someone. Using the word, we have to, you could say, oh, it's time for you to shower. Instead, you could do, it's time for us to take our shower. Let's have our breakfast. Because if you say you are actually ordering the signal. And now, push back. Why are you bossing me around? So instead of you use we. It does sound like an order. Doing it with, not to. Here. Doing it together. We and not you. There's another one here. Never, again, for the families here, when you get a caregiver, don't discuss their condition in front of them. Oh, my mom can still understand. We have to make her listen to the discussion. If she's diagnosed with dementia, don't. You should have a pre-meeting and everything is already settled, or maybe you just want to get her opinion a little bit, but it's too much to be interviewing caregiver or discussing with the doctor or everything. One technique for the caregivers bring who bring seniors to doctor's appointments. Well, now it's actually virtual. What you could do is you have a small slip. If you have some concerns, write it down. Just like, don't recite all the things that she did in front of her. It's going to embarrass her. Small note, pass it to the assistant or to the nurse. Even for families, pass it to the nurse or pass it to the doctor, so that you don't discuss and like you're trying to, you know, as if you're telling on them in front of the doctor. For the caregivers, for your senior clients, it is suggested that you do a background, you ask for their background and medical history. When you have a new client, you have to ask, aside from medical history, do they have high blood pressure? Do they have this? The reason why I think that's standard, that it's told to you what is the medical condition of the client. However, the background, you should know if she's a teacher. What did she do before? Well, of course, an assessment form, not all caregiving agencies, not all have that ground, but suggests, ask the family, ask the client, what was she before? You should know your senior, so that, especially those with dementia, because you can, if she's a teacher before, here you are talking about the Sandy Hook massacre of children. Do you want to discuss that with her? No. Especially, there was a time we have this senior that she got so mad because the caregiver was watching TV, the news, and these kids were massacred. And she was a former teacher. She had a heart attack because watching, because the caregiver doesn't know that she's a teacher. She's a preschool teacher. So it is very important you know who your client is. You have to go beyond that, particularly if they have dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay, never call them patient. We're not nurses. See, what happens is that when they're agitated, they get scared. And when they get scared, they fight you. Just like the other day, because the caregiver is new. So you know what? She was so scared. She thinks that the caregiver is somebody who's like, what are you here? The caregiver said, I'm a nurse assistant. And she said, why am I sick? And no, not sick. They've been together for 2 days only. However, you know what? She's so scared. So you know what? Every time she fights back, she pushed the caregiver out of my house. But then the caregiver came back. Know what she did? She ran away. See, these are the things like, it's fright, they're scared, they fight you, and if they can't win, they go away. Or you know what? They don't want to listen to you. I would like to mention to you about, stories, case studies, the case of Nelda. Nelda is one, she's not a, before we were working with Brookdale, and she had, her kids went to Europe, and the next day, she woke up and she said, my kids were kidnapped. And the caregiver, who's not trained, she said, no, your kids are not, they're in Europe. She was giving reality orientation. Come on, let's go have our breakfast and let's dress up, take a shower. Come on. Nelda kept on talking about it. She went to the front desk and she said, my kids were kidnapped. And then the front desk, who don't know anything about dementia, said, no, they're in Europe. And everybody she saw in the hallway, everybody, she said, help me, my kids were kidnapped. Nobody believed her. Nobody believed her. So you know what? At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she woke up 7 o'clock. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she had a heart attack and she died. You know why? Put yourself in her shoes. You are a mother who's reliving a memory. Nobody knew that at the age of 10, her kids were really kidnapped by an aunt. Nobody knew about that, but she was reliving a memory. So how, if that is happening, or that's your senior client is reliving a memory, how do you answer that? You just have to say, really? Oh my gosh, I will report that to the police. But for the meantime, I'll take it. Let's take our breakfast. But I will go and tell that to the police. I'll phone the police and I'll give you an update. Okay. For the meantime, let's eat and let's take a shower. You have to commiserate with them. You have to live in that world. Because if not, you keep on giving reality temptation. Put yourself in your shoes. You don't even in their shoes. You don't even know that she is reliving a memory. Always look look at every situation from their perspective. Another story is Nancy. You know, Nancy, she's so nice. I was sitting down on her sofa, and then suddenly Sophia went inside, and then, hi, Nancy. She went to pick up Nancy's laundry, and she went to the room. We were sitting in the living room, and she went to the room, and then she took the hamper, the laundry, and then went back, way back. And then Nancy said, I hate that woman. I really hate her. I don't want to ever see her. And I said, what did she do? I don't know. They don't remember what you did. They might forget, but they will remember how you made them feel. So like I asked Sophia, why is she mad? And Sophia said, I don't know. I don't know why. Only to find out, guys, that Nancy is mad because she thinks that Sophia is stealing her clothes. Every day, because Sophia goes there. What happens is that Marie, after the chef, brings back the clothes and hangs it straight. You know what? She doesn't see that. So every day, could you imagine the feeling of being robbed of your clothes? That's why she's so mad. That agitates her. And another story, screaming Alex. Alex in the morning, you know what? The caregiver comes in, you know, because she sleeps by himself at night. The caregiver comes in and then, you know, dresses him up. When they make her sit at the edge of the bed, and then they would, you know, prepare the room to give him a shower. The problem is, lately, Alex is screaming like, and everybody in the community could hear him. So we said, like, why is he screaming? What's wrong? So we investigated, only to find out that Alex, in the morning, they would make him sit at the edge of the bed. He's so wet. He is so cold. But the caregiver doesn't know because, you know what? She's running around. She's young. Alex is wet. And here you are, you know, just making him sit there. So we told the caregiver, put warm blanket, put a cover or a robe, you know, so that while you're fixing things, he sits at the edge of the bed and he's warm. Alex stopped screaming because we just have to be very careful on we have to be very observant on the source of the agitation, putting yourself in their shoes. And Nancy, who refuses to take a shower. Nancy would always say, oh, no, I don't want to take a shower. And it's been 7 days. We cannot force them. So what we did, because we know that seniors are always cold. So what we did, I told the caregiver, go in there at 7 o'clock, put the thermostat to 80, and then maybe she would feel warm because a lot of seniors are cold. So you know what, when we did that, when the caregiver arrived, the sheets are thrown into the floor like, hey, hi, Nancy, you know, it's one day today. Do you want us to take a shower? And she said, yes, no problem. You know, no problem. She went straight. And then we joined. And take note, he said, do you want us to take a shower? Do you want to take a shower? That sometimes, always you have to take a shower. That word you should always be avoided. It should be we. Using the note here, using the long-term memory to redirect agitation as the conversation piece. Yeah, like if there's conversation, use whatever stories they keep on repeating so that, you know, you can enter into their world as a conversation piece. Positive approach to care. There are a lot of approaches, but this one actually we've seen it work. You know, A lot of caregivers, I want to stand up here. I don't know if you could see me. A lot of caregivers have this habit of looking down at the senior. This is the bed, and you look down at that. Hey, Mary, come on. It's time for you to wake up. It's 7 o'clock. Come on, come on. And then I look at you. Do you know that the position of your face is actually very daunting? Put yourself in their shoes. I am sick. I have body aches. I'm wet. I did not sleep. And here you are telling me what to do in the morning. The position of the face is actually very daunting. So some seniors like, no, no, there's already a pushback in the morning. Why? Because you're looking down at them. What can you do? So always when you go to the senior, you always like, hey, Mary, wave from afar and then walk slowly and then move to the side and then go to their eye level. Crouch down low, never look down. Eye level and extend your hand, offer your hand and call them by their name. Handle them with care. Even the body position speaks a lot. So make sure never look down and make sure that it's eye level when you, especially in the morning, when you talk to them. This one is for caregivers too. You have to connect. When you say connect, I mentioned like, hey, wave, hey, I'm here. And then what's happening? Is she okay? And then if she's like, her like this, it means that, there's pain or something. So respond appropriately. Like say, for example, she seemed to be cold. Okay, so you know what? Maybe cover her. And then all the techniques that you think works, caregivers should share that with the team. Some caregivers are too selfish that, this one works, I will not tell her. So I hope that we don't work with caregivers like that. So it's very important with a shift, 15 minutes before or 30 minutes, you have to be there to turn over. We have this policy that, say, for example, there's a sore, then you forgot to turn over, you forgot to check, and the next shift, then there is a sore. Even though it's not your shift, it will be there because you know what? You did not note it down. Okay. There are a lot of ways to say sorry. This one I got from Tipa Snow, You have to say sorry because sometimes, you've done something, maybe there's miscommunication, you were not able to say it properly, or, they got offended. So I'm sorry, I was trying to help. I'm sorry I made you angry. I'm sorry, you're right. I have no right to treat you like a child. I'm sorry that happened. That shouldn't have happened. Let me see what I can do. I'm sorry, this is hard. I hate it for you. Never tell them, oh, it's going to be okay. Because it will never be okay. Stop saying that because you're pulling their leg. Guys, please go to the Facebook page with our post there and maybe, put hashtag senior care. Okay, here, the eyesight. A lot of people don't understand that, the eyesight makes a big difference. When you're senior, you have this, you have macular degeneration, glaucoma, cataracts, everything. So we have, let me do this. Okay, everybody, can we please do this together? Let's do the scuba goggles. This one. Everybody, can I see everybody? Can you do that? See? When you do the scuba goggles, do that. It's bigger. Can you see your sides? Not really, but you can still see. It's still clear. Yeah, but say for example, you have macular degeneration. There's a tear in your retina, and you have cataracts. So it becomes binoculars. Your line of sight is now this much. Can you see your sides? No, I can't see my sides. See, I can only see the one in front of me. And then there's like sometimes the other one's blind. So I'm a one-eyed jack, and I have this. So you know what? Double whammy. I can't see. But the caregiver doesn't realize that it is affecting communication. The problem is The caregiver doesn't understand the eyesight, but they don't also understand the meaning or respecting human space. The public space is 6 feet. That's where you announce yourself. Like, hey, Mary, I'm here, 6 feet, outside of 6 feet. That's the public space. You tell them because you already have problems. So, hi, Mary. Sometimes you have to wait. Now, when you walk within the 6 feet, when you walk within the 6 feet, that's the personal space. You're already stepping onto the personal space. And then anything that within the reach, that's already the intimate space. Now, could you imagine you have binoculars and you go in front of the senior, and what you can only see, because they went straight to your to your intimate space, and they go in front of you. Could you imagine a big face with this? So that's what happened. That's why a lot of seniors push back. Do not enter right away their intimate space without you going or respecting their public space and personal space. Don't do that. And always never confrontational, never in front. Try to cover your eyes and then put something, a big picture in front of you. Don't you think that's scary? Like, ooh, that's why they push back. And here you are. Say, for example, this is just my eyesight. Okay, this is just my eyesight. And here I am. I can see you in front of you, hear you, and suddenly you touch me in my crotch because you're going to change my pants. How would you feel that you did not know where the hand, somebody just touched you in your privates? I'll push you. I will not allow you to touch me. Or if in case, I will just cry because you know what? I feel violated. So what is the technique? What is the technique on handling them? Always always announce yourself, respect the human space. At the same time, always never confrontational, never in front, never in front. And then what you can do also is that always announce yourself, same time, try your very best, to understand what you're going to do. Plan it. Don't startle them. And when you're going to touch them in their private, so you know what? Hold their hand and bring their hand where you're going to touch them while telling them so that they don't feel violated. Because if you just touch them, even you tell them, sometimes they can't hear. Hold their hand. Oh, I'm going to change your pull-up. By the way, caregivers, do not call it diapers. Oh, let's change your diapers. They're not babies. Call it pull-ups. Or you know what? Maybe undies, but not diapers. So you know what? Hold their hand, bring it where you're going to touch them so they don't get started and they don't feel violated. Okay. Care tips. You know what? When they're agitated, that's not the client anymore. Sometimes it's the disease. Real personality gets eclipsed by the effects of brain failure. But eventually, if in case it's already out of control, they really become like babies on the last stage. Do you know what's the last stage of Alzheimer's and dementia? The brain shuts down, that they forget that the brain shuts down, that it forgets how to, the brain forgets how to, how to say, the lungs forget how to breathe, the mouth forgets how to chew, because that's the CPU, that's the one telling you what the other organs are going to do. But since it's so incapacitated now, it stops. That's why the last stage, they become bedridden, and you know what, they pocket food, because you know what, not because they want to pocket the food, it's because they don't know how to swallow anymore. Again, tips do not contradict. Redirect conversations. I know it's going to give you a headache saying yes, 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 but maybe redirect the conversation. Okay, we're almost here. There are ways to communicate. Empathize, be genuine. Don't say it's going to be okay. Say, for example, you don't understand what they're saying. You always say, tell me about it. You know, because sometimes you don't know. You can't really decipher. Tell me about it. Just like saying, I want to go home. Home is comfort. So you have to know how to decipher what they want. And I lately, experience-wise, one of the clients that we had, she keeps on calling mama. Mama, mama, mama. Remember, we love our mothers. She's our comfort person. She's in pain. That's why she's calling mama. We should know how to decipher what comes up or comes up to their minds. Or redirect and distract. Never pinpoint a flaw. Never say, oh, your hair has a lot of white. Oh, you have so many wrinkles. I don't like your dress. Let's change it. Always be positive. And never say, remember, because they really don't remember. Use the word would instead of can. Would you read this? Okay, not can you read this? Just like the we and you. Use nonverbal or sign language, because sometimes we have problems with hearing. So simple communications like, do you like it? Come on, let's eat. Let's run, or let's exercise. Or I want to take a shower. Use sign languages, nonverbal cues, and understand their nonverbal cues. Advocate, take their side. Say, for example, we have this client who said that, I hate you guys because you are asking the doctor to suspend my license. I want to drive. And you know what we did? No, it's not us, mother. It's not us. We want you to drive, but that damn doctor, make the doctor be the guilty guy, not you. Take their side. If the doctor says this, like, yeah, I know, be on their side so you don't become the bad guy. Causes, of agitation, we've discussed that. They cannot articulate what they want. The caregiver and the client, not a good fit. That's why when we send caregivers, we want to make sure that, we ask, do you want somebody chatty or you want somebody kind of a bit quiet? Because in the pairing of caregiver and client, it is very important that the personality matching. Agitation, all caregivers, a lot of us are guilty of it. Talking on the phone, we have to respect client's house. If you want to make a phone call, go to the restroom, not in front of them. And for people who speak their own native language, don't do that in front of them. That's offensive. Please. The effects of agitation is constant agitation causes depression. Constant depression causes a myriad of medical issues leading to death. Okay, thoughts. Could you imagine where this agitation is coming from and not know how to adjust and address it? They are alone and lonely, battling this disease, and you can't help them because you don't understand. I hope that as we go along, we could, with this workshop, it could give you some, bits and pieces of information that can be practical and you can use. This one here, okay, this is audience participation. Can I ask the participation, everybody? Everybody, let's close our eyes, and I'll give you a situation wherein, then I will ask you to open your eyes. What would you do? Okay, let's close our eyes. This is the situation. When you arrive, Mary is on the floor. When you open the door, Mary's on the floor and with a lot of poop around, and she is so messed up, and she's about to put the poop in her mouth. Sorry for that. What will you do? What will you do? So the first reaction when we ask, like, oh my gosh, Mary, don't do that, don't do that. And here you are running, stopping Mary from, doing that. Then you fall. Or maybe, you know what, Mary gets startled, and then she's gonna run away and she falls. So what is this reset? When you are in a situation where, oh my gosh, if you can't take it anymore, either the situation, you can't handle the client anymore, or you have a bad case of caregiver worker who's not cooperating, or whatever, you're so already there. We suggest you do the reset. What's a reset? If, again, let's go back and rewind, going, when I see Mary, hi Mary, knock knock, and then I open and I see Mary with that, in that situation, what would I do? I would close the door, turn my back, and breathe. And this is what I'll do. You know what? I'll like close my eyes and then like, ha! Or I'll scream. I'll get it out of my system. You know, like, ha! Get it out 3 times. Ha! And then one last breathing, and like, okay, then I'll walk back and open the door. Now I can tell Mary, I can put back my screen. I would tell Mary, like, hey Mary, don't worry about it. I'll clean it up. So you're not transferring that panic to Mary, because you can't do anything. Do that every time you feel like, giving up, like you want to get it out of your system. Bring it out, especially when you're really tired. The reset is very important to maintain your sanity. Why do they stop socializing? Why don't label? And that's the reason why. Could you imagine the scare of these people from not knowing who this person they're meeting, like, oh, hi Mary, and then like she's gonna smile. My aunt does that. She's gonna smile, but you know what? She doesn't know who the hell is she. But that's scary. Put yourself in their shoes. That's why they stop socializing. How to prepare for dementia? We have a separate seminar for this, a detailed one, but we'll give you like, be healthy, write down the happy moments of your life. Just like in the notebook, she forgot who she is, but the notebook to remind her of the happy moments. We always say, hey, the happy moments. You only write the happy moments, not the moments one. Because, when you are agitated, you can be redirected to that. Prepare your legal estate papers, save for home care because it's expensive, and buy a life insurance that turns into term care. Long-term care, we have a lot that you could, check it out. We have one sponsors. We have Columbus here. So, and we have also other options, but you have to have an insurance so that it could be a buffer. So you don't go to this Mona Lisa place. You know what's a Mona Lisa place? They just lie there and they die there. You don't want to go to a nursing home that's so dowdy. You want to be in your comfort zone. So save or buy your life insurance and do financial planning. Attend the UCP workshop and plan for your family. This is what I was telling you about the scrapbook and the notebook. The happy moments. This one, I did this, I think, 10 years ago. We cannot be silent about dementia. We cannot. We have to be noisy. We have to let everybody know this is the right way to talk to them. As long as we label them sick and not independent, as long as we call them invalids and burdens, they will be told by others what to think of themselves. A silent scream for independence and dignity unheard. The road to institutionalization begins. The best place to retire is home. That is the comfort zone. Because if they get moved, the transfer trauma actually is the start of the end. As long as we're silent, we cannot help these people. Go spread the word about dementia. I would like to show you this video before we finish, and I'll take some questions later. Okay.
What have I gotta do to make you love me? What have I gotta do to make you care? What do I do when lightning strikes me? And I wake to find that you're not there. What do I do to make you want me? What have I gotta do to be heard? What do I say when it's all over? And sorry seems to be the hardest word. It's sad, so sad. It's a sad, sad situation, and it's getting more and more absurd. It's sad, so sad. Why can't we talk it over? Oh, it seems to me sorry seems to be the hardest word. It's sad, so sad. It's a sad, sad situation, and it's getting more and more absurd. Oh, it's sad, so sad. Why can't we talk it over? Oh, it seems to me that sorry seems to be the hardest word. What have I gotta do to make you love me? What do I gotta do to be heard? What do I do when lightning strikes me? What have I gotta do? What have I gotta do? When sorry seems to be the hardest
Okay. I hope that video, we've been showing that for, I think, 10 years, 10 years. And like, this is a free event, but we'd like you guys to be our advocates to spread. If you have caregivers who are still giving reality orientation, using reality orientation, please stop them and maybe refer them to us, to attend seminars like this. But rule number one, no reality orientation, please.
Hey everybody, Ellen, thank you so much. That was another success and very informative seminar to all our caregivers. And thank you very much for all the participants tonight. Now we have a few questions here. I'll just, because it's a lot, so I'll just shorten the questions. There are some people who wants to watch again this presentation, so they're asking where they can watch this presentation. So maybe probably we can post that on our website through Facebook. That's the first question.
YouTube also. We have we'll post in YouTube, and it's gonna be a part of the training material for the incoming caregiver. We cannot discuss everything. It's gonna be too long. We used to do this actually for 4 hours, but it's just shortened this time. Most of the salient points, but we have others. We have how to prepare for dementia. We have dementia up close and personal for families. Then we have another one, the language, how not to become the bad guy. Yeah, it's gonna be next year, but for this one, it will be in. I think they will upload it in YouTube.
Okay, thank you, Ellen. And then there's another question here from Miss Christina Jones, and her question is, what happens when there's no choice but to transfer to a nursing home? Is it better to get them in earlier when they know what's going on? My mom can't cope anymore. I can, my nan, it's not easy. I'm sorry. I can, my nan is easy. It's just my mom is selfish. My mom said dementia, Australia has said she will eventually need to go to a home. It's just a matter of time. I'm very conflicted with my mom says that I am not facing reality. That was a message from Miss Christina Jones.
There are a lot of resources. If resources can handle, maybe stay home. But if needed be, we don't have a choice. Particularly if they are a flight risk, they need to be in a secured facility. But there are a lot of ways. That's the reason why there are geriatric care managers. There are geriatric care managers who could actually guide you on what to do, considering family problem, the relationships, at the same time her condition, the resources, where is she going. So, Christina, I don't charge for just give me a call, let me help you. I don't charge for that. I can give you resources at the same time, feel free to call me. It's part of the advocacy, if in case you're already there, we can discuss about it. Let me help you. Let me help you. It's my Christmas gift to you.
Okay, the last question that I have here is, it's a simple question, and I know you've been mentioning this to everyone during the first part of your talk, but this is the question. What service does your company provide? Can you answer that question?
We're not here to sell American Geriatric, but we do care management, case management, and family dynamic support and professional caregiving. What we're very proud, of course, are our caregivers, but the family dynamic support. The family dynamic support is, what will you do after a crisis? Like, for example, mom got hospitalized. That service that we provide as geriatric care managers, we help you build a roadmap with all whatever you have to design that roadmap after a crisis. You have 5 children with 5 different opinions on what to do now because you're having dementia. So, or you're a daughter who's so stressed out, you don't know how to deliver the care, especially there is a push. We try to work with you, try to analyze the situation. We make recommendations and we help you go through that process. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to hire us, but a part of our advocacy is to help families because not a lot of families can afford, but there are other resources which we could refer you. At the same time, would love you to, if you become an ambassador and you could talk about dementia, why not? If we could help you, and then you could help others too by, talking about experience. So we have professional caregiving, we have care management, and the family dynamic support. And we can be your professional relative. So we're just a phone call away. We don't charge phone calls. Thank you. Okay. So
Right.
we don't like here. Let's just maybe move here. The others, you can always give us a call or send us an email. This is a free event. Please pay it forward. Spread the word out, the right language and approach. Let's snatch seniors from dying very lonely. Because you know what? A lot of seniors with Alzheimer's and dementia stop talking, not because they can't talk anymore. It is because they have given up on life. If there's one that we could, snatch, or we could turn around their experiences by spreading the word. Not all caregivers are trained equal. So I would like to thank the caregivers who were here. You know what? If you're applying for a job, show that. Show that to your former next employer that, hey, I attended this and I'm an advocate for dementia awareness. You are actually a cut above the rest. Not even CNA schools, they don't teach this. They don't, because this one, what you're seeing, we saw it on the floor. These are our experiences. This is not something we made up or researched. Maybe the other data, but what we're telling you are case studies. We saw this, and the way, if you use this, it works. Like us and follow us on social media, announcement of job opportunities, schedule of events, American Geriatric. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, And before we sign off, we'd like to invite everyone. We have caregiving jobs. We have open. There's a link here. We are continuously training. And if we cannot hire you at this time, sign up. We'll to train you. Because eventually, you know what? Even though you don't work for us, you will work for other seniors. And you could make the difference. There's also a program where we have the sign up for business development partnerships. We don't pay referral fees. We don't want that. We want business partners. And if you would like to work with us, we could work together by referring seniors who might need our help, and we could become partners in taking care of them. We have a very, very attractive, profit sharing program, which we would love to share with caregivers and families. If you know someone, please refer to us. And one more thing, me being the owner of American Geriatric, it's not always about the money. It's about reaching out. We have in the past, rendered service to people who can't afford it because we know they need it. It's acreage in heaven. But to do this, we need to support the business so that we can also help those who are in need. So please remember us when somebody is in need of help. And I would like to thank, these are our sponsors. We call the event partners. We have JMPM Consultants. If you want to train more caregivers and you want to have your RCFE home and you want to be an administrator, she's my teacher. I owe this to her. She taught me how to dream. So we have Lelit and Jim Morris. You could contact them. They can teach you. They have classes online. And thank you for Western Southern Life for sponsoring all our events. They can give you inputs on the right retirement and financial planning. Care Pro for always being supportive. They're caregivers. If the clients cannot afford the high rate, we give them to the referral agency, a sister company, that's Care Pro. Sanctuary Properties. I promise them that, I'll plug them because they have the best condominiums in the Philippines. They promise to support all our dementia programs. And thank you also to Serenity Nursing School, our future partners who will be training our CNAs. Thank you for coming and supporting the event, FACC Foundation. And of course, my own Eva, the virtual assistants who made this possible. They are awesome. My own Eva, executive virtual assistants, one executive assistant is equivalent to 3 people. They are really good. I can run my business because I have their backup. So before we finish, I would like to leave this quote to you caregivers, to the caregivers who are here. No, they always say nurses are the heroes, doctors, but they should not forget the caregiver at home, the one who deals, I'm sorry for the term, poopy and vomit, who cleans up, who's there. We're underpaid. We're not given enough resources to work on, but we are heroes. They always say, I have this, but you know what? I would like to share this to all. To even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, that is to have succeeded. This is the objective of this event. We can make a life better, the life of a person better, and they can breathe easier by understanding the right language and approach. So I hope, guys, we leave with this. And if you have some friends who would like to learn more, we'll watch out for our next events, and we hope that we have imparted something good and a knowledge. To the caregivers here and the family caregivers here, you guys, God bless you. This advocacy is not just for the seniors, but for us, because we have that dignity in our hearts. We are proud to serve the seniors and make a difference in someone else's life. Thank you very much for all those who attended. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you. Yeah, feel free to call me.
Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Ellen.